We'll get started here in just a few minutes, guys. Testing, testing. All right, what's up, everyone? Crazy, crazy markets. Morning, good morning. So we will have a jam-packed day today. Jam-packed. Good morning, good morning. Morning, good morning. Get ready for probably gonna be the craziest day of the year today. I think I can say that pretty confidently. Today is gonna be the craziest day of the year. Morning, good morning. AREB going crazy, but not really that interested today. So we got a lot of stuff to be talking about today, guys. So I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. I started off a little bit early today. So we'll get started here in a few minutes, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Steven, how are you? You there, Steve?
guys. Could you guys hear me okay?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Or, yeah, let me get this switched places. All right, should be good now.
Testing, testing. Steven.
Perfect.
Oh, there you are. Great. Yeah, I heard some Japanese over there, bro. Just making sure that you're
So
you didn't get smuggled or anything.
We switched hotels. We went to a different district in Tokyo, and every time I switch, it's like, you know what I mean, new setup and new TV and all that. So, anyways, so the TV switched on, and it was like a Japanese channel.
A likely story. Well, we'll accept it.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on over there? Some anime in the background.
So we got a lot of stuff to be talking about today, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
We're gonna start at around 9:05, guys. So we'll give it 3 more minutes and then we'll start. I had a pre-market long on Tesla, which I obviously just flipped. So let's see what happens into the market open. What's on the agenda for today, Steve? Or what did you end up doing?
So switched hotels. We went and we're organizing our Kyoto trip on Monday. So we went to the train station, got tickets, did dinner, all that. We had a heck of a time trying to book our tickets, but we figured it out. 20 minutes trying to figure that thing out. But
You
yeah, so
speak
we're gonna do a
Chinese,
trip
right?
Monday.
You speak Chinese, not Japanese, right?
Yeah, so I mean, conversationally, yeah. Yeah, I studied for about 3 years, and I studied in Taiwan for a while, but I know just a couple words in Japanese, so yeah, it's pretty tough. Mandarin, I can speak some Mandarin.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna be recording this on YouTube just in case. So if anyone's joining us on YouTube or anyone's joining us all around, I'm gonna do a free live trading today because I think the market's gonna be kind of crazy, and I think it'd be really, really valuable to kind of open it up today. So I'm gonna give it another minute and then we'll start.
Yeah, and then it's cherry blossom season here, so we checked some of the sites out. They are just jam-packed, though.
Oh,
As
yeah,
I'm
big
assuming
time.
Kyoto will be as well. Yeah.
I can only
It's so
imagine.
beautiful. Yeah. Oh, nice, Kyle. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. My birthday is also in July, so if you haven't been, feel free to DM me before you come, and I'll tell you where to learn. Stay safe.
So let's get started here. So, morning everyone, welcome back to live trading. If this is your first time on live trading, welcome. We use the webinars channel in Slack to communicate. Opened up live trading to everyone today because I think the market's going to be a really, really crazy day. So I want to try to help as many people as I can. So let's first start with yesterday. So yesterday, took a pretty bad loss on ICCT. I lost about $10,000 on it yesterday, which is really, really frustrating for me. It's a really tough market, and I don't want to be losing that type of money in a tough market. So what was my plan? So first things first is this was a low-hanging fruit. This was a stock that topped out and just kept fading and fading and fading. And I wanted to short the bounce on this stock, right? Because my thought process, my strategy tells me once a stock is broken, very low likelihood that's coming back. So I waited and I waited and I waited for 370 entry. And if you look over here, right around here, we got this washout, and I had open orders to cover. I covered probably about, I don't know, a third of my position I was able to get off into here, and then it instantaneously reclaimed. At that point is when I identified that this stock is extremely heavily manipulated. So at that point, around 10 a.m., around $3.75, I identified that this stock was extreme levels of manipulated. Now, I did good identifying the manipulation. I did horrendous reacting to it. I got stubborn, I got pissed off, and I started fighting the stock. And lo and behold, I ended up losing $10,000 yesterday. So, I did the right thing by cutting out, I think it was, in the 5s, before it went to the 6s. So that's good. Pretty much left it alone for the rest of the day. So just really frustrated because I shouldn't be getting stubborn like that. I was just so it's not. I don't think it's really stubbornness as much as it is trust in the strategy. So the strategy says that if this stock is a low-hanging fruit, there is a 90% chance that it's probably going to fail, right? A 90% chance it's going to fail. So because it has such a high probability of failing, I was so willing to let it trade out. I was so willing to let it do its thing, and unfortunately, it ended up going against me, and I ended up losing money, and it just sucks, and I'm frustrated, and that's it. So what am I going to do to improve? So a loss is only a loss if you don't learn anything from it. So for me, this loss, as long as I learn something from it, I'm okay taking that loss, right? I'm okay taking that loss as long as I learn something from it. So what did I learn? Well, I learned that I'm pretty good at identifying the BS and the manipulation, but I'm not too good at reacting to it after. I identified it, I called it out, I said it, and instead of cutting out and just waiting, I just started kind of digging my heels in and fighting, and that's something that I shouldn't be doing. So I deserved the loss. The loss was controlled, sucks, but it is what it is. So coming into today, ICCT, faded into the close yesterday and now back up. I think that this is probably a very big avoid. So I'm not really interested in trading this stock, ICCT. I'm most likely going to avoid it and not touch it. My main focus is the market name. So everything was all dandy until this morning around 6 a.m. when China came out and said that they're going to do even more tariffs on the United States, and the market just kind of collapsed. So the way that I see it, guys, is this. A lot of the companies that are, manufacturing overseas in China, something like a Nike, right, are getting hit the worst, right? This is kind of just getting destroyed because they have all their sweatshops in China. Companies like Apple that have all their factories in China are going down. So like I said in the previous live trading, I think that over the next couple of weeks or over the next couple of months, a lot of these countries are going to come out and make deals with the tariff stuff. So I think it's going to be a very news-driven market, at least in the short term, for sure. So what does that mean for us? Well, it just means the same thing as we do. So on small cap stocks, we look for the parabolic moves. We look for the stocks that are parabolically going up and up and up and up, and then look to short it. For these large cap stocks, it's the same thing in reverse. We're looking for the stocks that are parabolically going down and then looking to buy for a reversal. So even though the news on the S&P 500 is really bad, we're down, if you do the math, we're down 10% in 2 days, So the S&P 500 is down 10% in 2 days. 2 days. Yesterday was the biggest crash since like 5 years ago. So although the news is bad, I do think that we may have the opportunity to bounce, right? Just as a dead cat bounce, just as a relief bounce, this is not the bottom of the market. This is not, buy and close your eyes and hold forever. I think at least we'll get some sort of short-term bounce for sure today. That's kind of how I played Tesla. So Tesla this morning, I waited for a higher low. I waited for a washout and a higher low and bought. My plan on this was just to sell it for a quick scalp because I'm not looking to marry anything pre-market. So my main focus is probably going to be this Tesla, or even look at something like an Amazon, dude. Amazon is down from 240 to 169. That is freaking nuts. So those are kind of the main watches that I'm watching. And as you see, I also have VIX on my screen. Not really to trade, but more of a, so if you guys don't know, VIX is the volatility index. It measures the volatility in the market. It's usually like an inverse of the market. So I'm having the VIX up as kind of a gauge of what the overall sentiment is on the markets today. If the VIX goes up, that means the market goes down. If the VIX goes down, that means the market goes up. So I'm kind of keeping that on radar as like a watchful eye of what these stocks are going to do. So I posted my watch list a little bit early today, and I'm going to repost it right now. So I post that. So this is my watch list today. So I said I had a tough losing day on ICCT yesterday. There was an insane level of manipulation there, and thankfully I kept it controlled, which is fine. And coming into today, China has added more retaliatory tariffs on the United States, causing the entire market to go down. My overall focus is a washout on all the market names with a higher low and then looking for a rebound. I don't think we're going to get an all-day rebound type of action. I think we're probably going to sell off into the close because most people don't want overnight risk of tariffs over the weekend. So my go-to names are going to be Apple, Amazon, and Tesla. The only reason why I have Apple on there is it's, I think, pretty much the only large cap that has SSR on, the short sale restriction. So it has a higher probability of bouncing. And then looking for a higher low and then a buy. ICCT, 100% avoiding. Much better opportunities out there. These markets are starting to look like the panic of 2020 COVID, so please be careful. Don't feel like you need to trade them. So I would say on a level of 1 to 10 in being advanced level of trading, today's a level 100. So if you're not a level 100 wizard with diamond armor and enchantments, it's going to be a very, very tough day to trade. And that's kind of a reference from one of Bao's videos about leveling up properly. So I'll share that very quickly in case you haven't seen that video. But pretty much, this is not a market for new traders. This is very, very, very complex action. So you have to be very, very careful when trading this action. And yeah, that's kind of my overall thought process. So my thought process is looking for a rebound on overall market names. Not really interested in any small caps and not looking to just buy for the sake of buying. I need to see some higher lows like I saw in Tesla here. So if you see Tesla here, it dipped down, washed out $5, held a higher low, bought the higher low, and flipped it on the rebound. So we are bouncing right now into the market open, which is in about 17 minutes. So we'll see what happens. I do think that initially the first move is going to be a rebound. And then probably towards the later half of the day, we're probably going to get a sell-off because not a lot of people want to hold stocks into the weekend in case more countries have retaliatory tariffs. So there is also maximum fear out there on Wall Street, on Twitter, on everything. Everyone is calling the market crash. I mean, pretty, yeah, it's kind of weak, but like, the market crash was when, something like Meta, right? If you look at Meta, when Meta went from, freaking 350 to 87, right? It went from 350 to 87. It went down, 350. It went down freaking 75%. So Meta went down 75%. That's a market crash, man. That's a market crash. So I don't think that we're in a market crash right now. I mean, we're definitely weak, but yeah, so overall, guys, what I'm looking for today is I'm looking for higher lows and looking to join the trend. If we do end up washing out and washing out and washing out, then I'm not going to be interested. I'm only looking to see if there's going to be higher lows on these stocks. If there's not going to be higher lows, then I'm not going to be involved in the rebound, right? So that's my thought process overall. I do see AREB bouncing. I do see ICCT moving, but I am not personally interested in any small cap stocks today. My main focus is going to be the large cap stocks. I mean, you even look at a stock like JP Morgan, dude. JP Morgan went from 280 to 217. Like, that's freaking nuts. So yeah, money flow doesn't really work in large caps. Large caps usually work all together. So money flow is pretty irrelevant in large caps. It's mostly focused on small caps. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to pass over the baton to Steven. And Steven, you can take it from there, brother.
Sure thing. Yeah, so I'm as far as my kind of plan for the day, I kind of looked around. I don't really see anything I'm really interested in. It's kind of one of those crazy days. So I'm gonna just kind of watch what's moving and see what plays out. But I don't really have anything that I'm specifically watching. I mean, I see Palm's got IBO and BDRX on the watch list for low-hanging fruits. Then I'm kind of got an eye on some of these that are moving. But yeah, I'm pretty much ready to chalk it up as a no trade day and just wait and see what happens today. So anyways, that being said, I wanted to try something new today. I read a post that a really great member, Vu Tran, posted in the new members channel. He doesn't know I'm sharing this, but I'm going to share it. And I think that what he did was really, really great. And I think everyone can learn from it, because what he did is he's a newer member. He's been here just, I think, exactly 4 months. And he's seen some really decent results the last couple months. And he basically laid out his game plan of what he did from day one to get to where he is now. So I thought I'd just share this for a couple minutes and go over it. And a lot of the things that he did here, we talk about, we preach. And I think he just pretty much followed it, and he kind of came up with his own plan. And I think that, going through these would be beneficial to a lot of you guys who maybe are struggling, or especially if you're just starting out. There's a couple key things he did in here that I really want to touch on at the end. But first, let me kind of get through these real quick. So Vu was kind enough, as I mentioned, to post this. It was kind of his journey. He's been here 4 months, and I'm just going to kind of read through it. If you guys have any input or anything to add, what you guys think helped you, feel free to post that as well. Then we could kind of talk about it. We've probably got about 7 or 8 minutes. So obviously, Vu did the onboarding with access to Slack, Jumpstart, and attended the live trades with Alex and myself and James from day one to get acclimated in the MIC's platform. So the onboarding, just so you guys know, and she'll probably end up posting it in a few minutes here, but we have an onboarding specialist. She is awesome, and her name is Kaylin. If you guys DM Kaylin, if you haven't already, you guys can set up an onboarding Zoom call, and she'll help get you guys set up with everything you guys need in Slack, talk about all our features, what we're doing, all that fun stuff. Next, he registered and attended all of Girl Trades 2, Nancy's classes. She's got a really, really great Trader Basic series in the new members channel. Please check the new members channel to register and sign up. No matter what skill level you are, here's the new members channel. That is an absolute must. He picked a broker in our broker talk channel. Then he did something that I want to touch on at the end, but he started paper trading by week 7 of Nancy's classes. He says start sooner if you want, but that's when he started, almost at the 2-month mark. Study content in main chat. Main trading chat is absolutely essential. Bao and Tom and all of the other awesome moderators are in there posting daily lessons every day, what they're trading, what they're watching, what they're avoiding. The amount of information is just unreal. You could spend 8 hours there, and you'll daily, and you'll learn new things after years and years. So definitely recommend going through main chat when you guys are done with your days or while you're trading. Next, he spent a couple weeks in the discipline workshop 101 with Andrew and Areg. I talked about this yesterday. Andrew and Areg created a really awesome private mentoring group. I'm going to post it here. Last time I posted, I got a lot of DMs that you guys couldn't access it. So this is not accessible. This is locked. You guys, in order to join, you must DM Andrew or Areg, and you must sign up and get on a waiting list. They're invite only. There's a waiting list, and they start every Monday. They start a different small group. They keep it small so that the attention is personal. So Vu did that. He thinks it was awesome. I agree. Huge shout out to those guys for working on that every week with all the members. Then he switched from demo to live trading on his broker. He spent the first week with tiny size to ensure all functionality works, risk management, planning, testing, buttons, hotkeys, all that fun stuff. This is something that we preach all the time. You know, I mean, I think every time I get a segment on here, I talk about small size, especially when you're getting started. Absolutely essential. Next, he attended the regular discipline workshop. This is open to everybody. There's no waiting list. Just jump in there, read the PIN guidelines, or watch the onboarding videos. And yeah, I've gone over this multiple times, but we are helping you guys plan and execute your trades. You're getting calendar wins for days that you stick to your plans, regardless of the P&L. But the focus is sticking to the plans with proper risk, not your P&L, right? P&L will follow if you follow your plans and everything's planned correctly. So he did that. He's still doing that. That's awesome. If need be, he said he requested one-on-one sessions, as everyone in MIC wants you to win. So one-on-one sessions, guys, let me post the channels. If you're a newer member, you can go into the new member mentoring channel. You can request, if you have questions, you could ask questions, or you can request a mentoring call anytime. So just go in there, use the resources, ask for help. We're all here to help you. We've got 25 plus moderators. We've got around 10 discipline workshop graduates, and we are all happy to help you guys. If you're a platinum member, same deal, but we've got a platinum member one-on-one mentoring channel. So feel free to do the same in there. Going back to the Vu's list, next. Vu attended the webinar. So this is something that I also talk about a lot. I know that Harry and Clau are now doing I think it's every other Sunday, long cap webinar, which is awesome. Harry and Tom are also doing Tuesday mentoring. Aloha Trader does, and he just did one last night, but he does a Thursday webinar on market sentiment. And, since the day I joined, I mean, these are just absolute gold. I recommend you guys get into every webinar you can. The schedule is posted in after hours all the time, or just ask if you guys want to see the schedule. But pretty much Thursday, Sundays, and I think it's like once a month on Tuesdays. But definitely get involved in the webinars. You can also go back and watch the old webinars, recordings in the video library under the webinar section. Next, he did his continued education, right? Video library, and that's obviously essential. Then he says he's just grateful to be a part of the community, has a ways to go, but he posted his discipline workshop calendar for the month of, let's see. Oh, so he posted it for March, but he says he also had a good win rate in February. So February, he had an 83% win rate. March had an 88% win rate. And keep in mind that Vu has been here since, I think he joined November 30th. So it's been 4 or 5 months. December, January. So it's been 4 months exact, right? So looking at his calendar, it looks like he had 2 losses in the month of March. So he's got like a, 88% win rate. For being here 4 months, I think that's a solid last couple months. Definitely not, you don't want to get comfortable. You want to keep pushing, but I would say that he's exactly where he should be for somebody who's focused, paying attention, proper planning, and doing everything else he should do. So I just wanted to share this, and I wanted to stress one thing that I think is really, really important that Vu did, and Vu actually DM'd me one-on-one about this. He decided when he first joined MIC that he was going to keep it small until he learns. And this is a point that we make all the time. I think every moderator's preached this. I mentioned it personally yesterday in this segment. But when you're just starting, there's no reason to ever risk money that you care about. The steps are education 1 and P&L second, right? When you worry about the education first, the P&L will follow. The main problem that I see 99 to 100% of traders, including myself, the trap that they fall into is they get into trading, they get excited, and what do? They just start worrying about the P&L. They don't worry about risk management. They don't worry about education, anything else. And I guarantee you, you will run into a roadblock where something goes wrong. You will learn the hard way, and you will likely come to MIC. I see emails, I see stories every single day of members who joined because they got hurt out there on their own or whatever happened. They didn't have proper risk. They didn't know how to plan. We lost a bunch of money, and now they're here. You guys can shortcut a lot of heartache if you just join MIC and stick to the process right away. So anyways, that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. I think Vu did a really, really awesome job. And I really appreciate that Vu was kind enough to share the steps in his journey. He's only been here 4 months, but these steps are really, really gold. And I recommend all of you guys to DM him. No, I'm just kidding. To follow these steps. Yeah, DM Vu. No, I'm just kidding. Vu's like, what's going on here? So anyways, we didn't even know I was going to share. But yeah, I recommend you guys to follow these steps, reach out to me, any of the other moderators, or just, start using these steps. And I think that they would really benefit a lot of you guys. So hope it's helpful. And thanks, guys.
Amen. Great job,
Great
Steve.
job, Boo.
So yeah, guys,
Thank
this
you.
is kind of the normal place where we end the live trading on YouTube. But because it's a crazy market day, I want to keep the live trading up and running. I usually do this like once or twice a month, and I thought that today would be an appropriate day. So we're going to be live trading here. There's no delay. There's nothing like that. You guys will see the entries. You guys will see the exits. You guys will see if I make money. You guys will see if I lose money. But today is a expert level day. It is not a day for beginners. It is not a day for new traders. This is certainly a day to just watch and learn if you're new. My main focus is waiting for a higher low on the markets to end up buying a dip, just like I did on Tesla earlier this morning around 248. I sold it around 252, which is fine, but let's see. Also, guys, as a reminder, we're not financial advisors. This is not meant to be financial advice. Everything we say or do is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Trading is risky. You have to be prepared to lose your money trading. It is not meant to copy or replicate any of our trades. It's more meant to look over the shoulders as we trade every day. So I think the first 5 to 10 minutes of the market open are probably going to be a little bit crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of margin call selling. I think there's going to be a lot of forced liquidation. So we may see a drastic move down. But same thing as always, guys, just looking to slowly scale in for a bounce. This is not a day if you are a new trader. This is not a day if you're first day trading. These are expert level markets, so be very, very careful as you trade them, okay? So we're gonna get started here in the next 2 minutes, and that's it, guys. So let's focus up. What's on your mind, Stephen? What are you looking at?
So yeah, man, I'm, probably gonna call it a no trade day. I'm watching some of these, are just kind of seeing where the money flow is and see if anything exciting happens. IBO, BDRX, maybe if they get towards highs, but for the most part, I'm just gonna sit back and watch, man. I think there's a lot of just nothing really set up the way I want so far. Some of these runners look a little bit dangerous, and yeah, so I'm pretty much taking it easy today. Not really comfortable trading larger caps, so I'm just going to sit back and watch the show. Other than my long-term holds, of course.
No, I agree. So let's see. We got about a minute here until the market opens. We got to bounce on Tesla, bounce on the indexes. So I don't know. We have to wait and see how the market open treats us first, because all these bounces could very easily be sold off. So I'm going to take it slow. Tesla's probably going to be my main vehicle, watching VXX, the VIX, for an indicator of the overall market. If VIX goes up, market goes down. VIX goes down, market goes up. So let's see, guys. We got about 30 seconds until the market opens. I do think that we're going to get a pretty crazy move off the open. I don't know if it's going to be up or down or left or right. So let's see how the open treats us. I'm not really interested in chasing anything. I'm not really interested in that. I'd rather look to join a trend after it has already formed. So that's it.
Yeah, it should be an interesting day.
All right, market's gonna open up here.
Easy, guys.
Market open. So Tesla, big move up. I think the quotes are lagging again. Anyone else getting some lag on their quotes?
Might seem okay. Yeah, it looks like Apple Inspire trying to fly.
ICCT halting up.
Yeah, ICCT is an avoid for me.
Good avoid there on ICCT. Tesla ramping up. So let's see if we can get a dip down. Yeah, ICCT is not in my interest at all, dude. At all. ICCT is asking for trouble, and we called that. We called that very early to avoid that shit. So we're starting to get a little bit of a dip on Tesla, dip on the markets. So just waiting for more info first. So watching Tesla on this dip to start in potentially long. So I took a small long there, 257. Very, very small. I am expecting it to at least retest the 250s. So I don't want to be too aggressive yet. I'll say this is 1/10 of a position. As the market washes out, just looking for reclaims on the market. Should be slowly scaling in. What I'm looking for. So I took a small ad there, 255.70. Just waiting here, guys. Just waiting here. Let's see what type of action we could get. Good rebound so far. A reclaim of VWAP at 258. I'll add some. 258. Watching. Added some Tesla long there on the VWAP reclaim. But I need to see the market start to agree a little bit. I'm at about 30% of my size so far, so still relatively small. So I'm keeping it small until the market actually rebounds. The overall market is still acting a little bit weak. If we break under 255, then I will reduce a little bit and get back to a small position. Because if this is going to bounce, it's going to bounce in a big way. And, I don't need to be concerned about losing $1 or so, So overall market is still acting weak for now. So I just reduced that Tesla at 255. Want to see a better rebound on the market before I add again. Amazon is acting a little bit strong. But yeah, just pretty much focusing on the S&P 500 to rebound, and then we'll continue to rescale in. So small loss for now. So good stop out there, 255. Just waiting for the overall market to show a little bit of rebound. Once the overall market shows a little bit of rebound, I have no problem rebuying. So rebought a little bit of Tesla here, 254s. Keeping a very, very tight leash. Whoa, ICCT halting up above yesterday's highs. What a call, guys. What a call to avoid that. What a call to avoid that. Sick move, ICCT. So slowly but surely, I will scale into Tesla long, but I don't want to use much size until I see the overall markets actually holding up and rebounding. If the overall markets don't hold up and rebound, I don't want to keep scaling. I think a little bit above 522 on S&P is kind of what I'm looking for. So just taking it slow, letting the market wash out as we're expecting it to do. And then once the S&P starts to reclaim that 522 mark, then I can start to scale in a little bit more here on this Tesla. ICCT avoiding this was the best thing. Scaled a little bit more Tesla there, 253.6. We'll scale a little bit more if S&P starts to hold 522. If S&P does not hold 522, totally different story. ICCT, another halt up. So watching 522 on S&P 500 for an add on Tesla. The VIX VXX is starting to act weak. Added some more Tesla here on the 522 reclaim. Tesla, my average is about 254. Market did reject that bounce though, so we'll see. So market is rejecting that bounce for now. So I might have to size down again, which is totally fine. So let's see. Don't want to get into a situation here where we're fighting these stocks, guys. So I have no problem stopping out and just re-entering. But we could very clearly tell that 522 on the S&P is that key area, because it pushed there and immediately failed. So if we don't reclaim on the S&P soon, then I'm going to dump this Tesla again and retry it. So I can very clearly tell my area. Why is Tesla not a short? Tesla is down, guys, from 294 to 250. You really want to short it $45 lower? So I have my key areas now. So I have my key area of 522 on the S&P 500 and 255 on Tesla. So 522 and 255 will be the only areas that I see to size up. Until then, I'm going to remain small size. So let's see.
Yep. Yeah, nothing really going on in small cap land, except for all the strength in ICCT.
Yeah, so mostly watching. So my key areas for rebound. Key areas for rebound. So my key areas for rebound are 522 on SPY and 255 on Tesla. S&P is still acting a little bit weak, so I have to look to reduce some Tesla until I get a very clear confirmation. So I removed some Tesla here for another loss as I'm waiting for the markets to reclaim. As long as I see some sort of reclaim or power candle, I have no problem getting back in. Amazon looks relatively strong compared to the rest. Let's see here if the market's going to do a little rebound. So 520 is a little confirm. So wash out there. Relong Tesla, 250 60s. Reclaim on the markets. VIX failing. So good rebuy there. Market big power candle. See if it holds. $522 is that key area. Amazon's the strongest one of the day for sure. So let's see if this higher low ends up holding on S&P. $522 is that key area on S&P, so I have no problem if 522 reclaims to keep scaling this Tesla. VIX, if it breaks 69, will probably trigger some more downside. So let's see. So what we want to see here is we want to see the overall market hold a higher low and start to rebound. Kind of like what's doing now, but we need it to hold 522. 522 holds, then we get a push. That move on ICCT is wild. Tesla's still acting heavy though.
Yeah.
That's kind of odd. Let's see. Overall market failing.
VXX is looking pretty weak though, still failing as well.
A little bit of a higher low there on the market, but once again, 522 needs to reclaim. So bought a little bit more Tesla there on that higher low on the market. Overall average is 252 now. So 252 overall average here on this Tesla. 522 is what we're looking for on S&P. So a good buy there at 249.75. Just looking for that 252 reclaim on S&P. If we could get it.
Yeah, VIX is pretty weak also.
Meta's rebounding. ICCT, that's a crazy ass move, bro. ICCT, that is just absolutely bananas.
Yeah, great avoids.
So very, very good avoid.
Yes.
Apple higher lows, Amazon higher lows. So all the mega cap stock, Google higher lows, Microsoft higher lows. All the mega cap stocks are agreeing. So I'm feeling comfortable in this. Adding a little bit more Tesla here at 251. VIX heavy.
Yep, super heavy.
So 252 reclaim on S&P. We just needed to hold this level, and then we should see a major bounce across the board. ICCT, another halt up on ICCT. Meta highs, Apple highs, Amazon highs, Microsoft highs, Google highs. We should get bounces on everything. VXX acting heavy. Tesla could rebound. S&P reclaiming 523. Overall market's rebounding. So sticking to this. Amazon was the strongest one of the bunch today. Crazy, crazy move on his Amazon. So Apple, big rebound. Amazon, big rebound. Microsoft, big rebound. Just need these all to continue. A VWAP reclaim of 253.50 could be another ad. So I'll be watching 253.50 for another ad here on this Tesla. Nice job, Amazon, Sean. Great, great move there. So we want to see the overall market start to hold that 522, build a base, and continue higher. So 522 is very, very important on the S&P. So still looking for a reason to size up in this Tesla. I'm in about 30%. I'll probably be in a little bit heavier over 253.50. So if we break over 253.50, that's going to be my area to add more aggressively. So I'm just going to set a stop market order, 253.50. That way, if it breaks above that area, that'll automatically be added. So 253.50 is kind of my area for reclaim to size up more aggressively. Took some losses across the board, but it's not a problem if this works out the way that I think it's going to work out. So we'll let it do its thing. Let it keep going, baby. Come on up. Nice reclaim candles all across the board. Nice reclaim candles all across the board. We just need to get some more follow through, guys. ICCT avoiding this was the best trade of the day. Google on highs, Apple on highs, Amazon on highs, Microsoft on highs, Nvidia VWAP reclaim. I think that we're going to bounce, guys, so long as this continues.
Yeah, and Amazon's been strong this whole time. Never even really dipped.
Yep. So 522 is very, very important for the indexes to hold. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Fed Chair Powell was speaking at 11:30. Can anyone confirm if Fed Chair Powell is speaking at 11:30? There's Anas, my man Anas. Yo, Anas, you don't get enough credit, bro, so thank you. Let's all take a minute to thank Anas for all of his amazing news. So everyone, please give Anas a shout out. He selflessly shares all the news promptly, organized, fast. Thank you, Anas. So VIX is on lows for now.
Yep, lower.
SPY, I don't like that. It's kind of failing VWAP though. But VIX has a different tell. VIX is kind of telling us that the S&P is going to rebound. Google up. I mean, everything is just kind of up. So still looking for a reason to add on Tesla. 253.50 is going to be my trigger. All the mega cap names are bouncing. Added Tesla long stop market order filled. 253.50 stop market order filled on Tesla long. Google's about to go green, dude. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's amazing. SPY is working on getting over VWAP. VIX super heavy.
I mean, if the S&P breaks high the day, bro, oh my God, it is on, baby. So right now, guys, my average overall with all the ads is about 252s. That is with losses. That is with losses. So as long as S&P holds 522 and we start to grind up, and as long as all these other mega cap companies hold strong, I'm going to stick to it. My stop on this round at Tesla is probably going to be a low the daybreak. So we broke 522 on SPY, which is not good. But we need to start holding some higher lows here on the S&P. We do not want to see endless weakness. So you could very clearly tell that we've identified 522 as the key area. So for any bounce to take place larger than just a couple points, we would definitely need 522 to hold. So I'm not looking to buy lower here. I would rather be in a scenario to buy higher as we continue to hold. 522 is that magic spot, guys. It's 522. So a higher low on Tesla again, 522 reclaim again. Google about to go green. So I'm just sticking to this, guys. I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to be panicked out yet unless the low of the days break. I guess I chose the wrong vehicle today. I should have focused on Amazon or Apple, but tough to know. Could have bought Amazon anywhere today, made money. Bought Google anywhere, made money. Bought Apple anywhere, made money.
Google's green.
Google green, S&P 523. I'm telling you guys, if we break the high of the day on the S&P, I think we're going to get a mega rebound. There we go, Tesla reclaiming.
And SPY above VWAP.
VIX heavy. So VIX is a really good indicator of, the market action. Meta on highs. Everything's on highs. Everything is on highs. I still do believe that 255 reclaim is going to be that trigger on Tesla. So 255 reclaim is that trigger. Honestly, it kind of sucks, but this Tesla's kind of the slowest of them all, which is kind of surprising to me. Maybe just a little bit of a delayed reaction, though. S&P grinding higher. Let's go. Yeah, there's been a lot of lag from DAS at the open. I think it's just way too much market data. They can't control it. They can't control it. They can't handle it. So now we're starting to get a little bit of choppy action. I mean, Bitcoin is actually pretty strong too. Surprising, but Bitcoin is definitely acting a little bit strong. Still acting weak. Like I said, that 522 is pretty much everything on the SPY. So if we can't hold that 522, then we're not going to be able to sustain a bounce. This Tesla's acting a lot weaker than I was expecting, so might have to size down on this one. So I'm still going to be sticking to the low of the day stop here on Tesla. Market pushed up, but just pretty much instantaneously rejected. Amazon is still on highs. Google is rebounding. So I think I might have just chosen the wrong vehicle for a rebound today. You know, Amazon is showing relative strength. Google is showing relative strength. Microsoft is green. Wow, Microsoft is green. That's crazy. So a lot of these stocks definitely do have relative strength, but really doesn't matter as long as the index itself is not bouncing. So let's see this index, if it's going to bounce or not. Still watching this Amazon, Google, Microsoft, all of them are pretty damn strong. Amazon is definitely the strongest of the bunch, man. If you see, every single dip is being bought up on Amazon. I mean, it is down a shitload.
Yeah, pretty solid move up. No real dips. Yeah, SPY, the only thing I like is that it did put in a higher low, so we'll see if that holds.
Yeah, we just need to hold that VWAP or something, dude, because this is, I mean, it could very easily just fade off, and you see VIX now rebounding as well. So I'm still sticking to my low of the day stop here on Tesla. And And I might have to just switch the stock that I'm trading to an Amazon or something. Follow the stock that's strongest.
Great job, Mark.
But my thing is, guys, I could always get out and get back in. So that's what I remind myself. So we could very clearly tell 522 is the spot, man. 522 is the spot. So cannot be aggressive on any type of size for a rebound until 522 holds. Tesla, I will respect the low of the day stop, and if we reclaim or hold 522, then I will get back in.
So I can small caps, AREB has the money flow for now.
Tesla getting prepared to stop out here. And again, I will stop out and rebuy if 522 reclaims. AREB, big trap, big trap. I mean, Tesla's still very weak. I'm actually very surprised that this was the weakest one of the bunch. So I took the stop there on Tesla, and we'll have no problem rebuying if 522 reclaims. So I gave it enough chances where I don't want to start to just try to pick the bottom. I would rather look to buy higher if I see it confirm. So I have no problem rebuying instead of 250, knowing that 250 will, hold higher. But you can see Amazon was very strong today, Google, Apple, Microsoft. So this was kind of the weakest one, which is surprising because it was kind of the strongest one pre-market, but I guess we'll wait and see. So any additional trades that I take on this Tesla, guys, I will wait until 252 reclaims on S&P, or we get some sort of higher low or some sort of signal. If we do not see a signal, if we do not see a reclaim, then I don't want to get back in. I would rather buy back higher. Because right now the market's looking very heavy. It certainly had a chance to hold and rebound, but it didn't. It didn't. 522 is that key area. You can see 522. The reason why 522 is important on S&P is that's kind of where VWAP is, and that's where it pushed and rejected, pushed and rejected, pushed and rejected. If you draw a line at 522, I mean, let me just show you guys. So if you draw a line at 522, you can see 522, it pushed and rejected, pushed and held, pushed, pushed, pushed. This is kind of that middle ground area that it's holding, right? You know, above it, it's going higher. Under it, it's going lower. So I'm patiently waiting for the S&P to have some sort of reclaim candle or 522 confirmation for me to get back in. A reclaim candle would be the same candle that it had at 943. So if you look at S&P at 943, it had a major power candle. So if S&P has another one of those major power candles, then I'm gonna, get back in this Tesla. But I have no problem getting out and getting back in, because if this works, it's gonna be a 20-point rebound. A 10 or 20-point rebound. It doesn't matter. That's gonna rebound $1 or $2. So that's why I'm not too worried. If it does what I think it's gonna do, it's supposed to be a big rebound. So we're at the lows on the markets, but Amazon is still holding up, man. If you
Yeah, I
look
was
at
going to say a lot
Amazon's
of
very
relative
strong.
strength. Yeah, a lot of relative strength there. Still holding.
So maybe instead of bouncing this Tesla, I'm going to try to focus on this Amazon. So let me pull up Amazon, and if we get a market rebound, then I'm going to look to start to buy Amazon instead, to follow the relative strength rather than focusing on the stock that's been the weakest. So if we get that power candle on the markets, I will go long a little bit of Amazon here. Maybe we get a move back to green, which would be, 178. But looking for a big power candle on the S&P as a sign of reclaim. But currently Amazon has the most relative strength. So I would like to join that relative strength rather than Tesla, which has relative weakness. So waiting for the overall markets to give me some sort of signal, and then I'll look to join this Amazon, which has relative strength. So I took a small long position there on Amazon, 173.84. Just a small starter. So low of the day today on the S&P was around 519. So looking to see if we get a 519 reclaim and a double bottom. If not, we'll wait for, again, a power candle, a reclaim candle. So far rebound, but not really convinced yet unless we hold 519 on the S&P. So no ads yet, We're sticking to a starter, no ads yet. So what we're doing now is we identified that Amazon has relative strength. So if we're looking for a market rebound, we want to see, we want to focus on Amazon because Amazon is the strongest as of today. I thought it would be Tesla, but it was not. So I have to shift my focus. A little bit of a rebound there on the markets. So I'm going to add a little bit more Amazon there, 174. So overall, just looking for the market, the overall market to rebound and then joining that trend. So we've identified that Amazon is the strongest of the bunch. So if we're looking for that rebound, we want to focus on this Amazon to rebound. And ideally looking for, red to green reclaim on Amazon the same way we got on like Microsoft and Google.
Yeah, all this weakness in the market, but Amazon hardly even dipped.
So far so good. Very good rebound on Amazon. Adding more Amazon here. Long. So finally the proper stock selection here. Finding the strongest stock of the bunch and joining that trend. So good rebound. There we go. Nearly high the day. So that's a great lesson on relative strength versus relative weakness. Notice Tesla is still at low of the days and Amazon's coming up to the high of the days. So we identified the relative strength on Amazon and shifted our focus. So we shifted our focus here, guys, because we started to realize that Tesla is not really acting strong in the glimpse of a rebound. But what stock is? It's freaking Amazon. So let's join Amazon instead of trying to figure out Tesla. A high of the day reclaim on Amazon. I will add some more for that move to 178. So I'm looking for a reclaim of green on Amazon. So if we reclaim the high of the day here on Amazon, I will add some more, looking for that 178 reclaim. Added Amazon here. Overall average is 174.50. And looking for that move back green. As the market rebounds, because Amazon was the strongest, Amazon will rebound the strongest. Right? So 176 is on Amazon. So very good pivot, man. Very good pivot. Yeah, I do still think that Tesla's going to have a rebound, but I'd rather join the stock that's acting the strongest, right? Very clearly, Amazon was acting the strongest today. And we already saw Google go green. We already saw Microsoft go green. So we could see this Amazon go green. So the key here was being able to pivot, being able to identify which stock is the strongest and joining that trend. So really good pivot there, really good pivot there. And now I have nearly $1.50 a share of cushion. I'm up already $1.50 a share. So nearly all those losses that I made on Tesla, I made back already on this trade. Now the question is, can I push this even further to get to being solidly green on the day? I do think that
great ads on that too.
I do think that if the overall market does rebound and does hold a bid, I mean, Amazon might even go to 180, right? It's been the strongest of the day. Very clearly, it's been the strongest. So why can't it, right? Why can't it? We found the strongest stock of the bunch, and we're joining that trend. So today's a good lesson on pivoting. Pivoting to, oh my god, this isn't, see how much easier this one is, dude? You know, Tesla, we're this, left, right, up, down. I mean, like we said earlier on Amazon, you buy anywhere, you make money. So by adjusting your plan, guys, I'm okay being wrong. I'm an idiot, right? I'm the king of idiots. But if I see that a stock is acting relatively strong and I'm looking for a market rebound, I'm going to rejoin the stock that's acting relatively strong. I'm going to go make some coffee. I'll be right back.
I'll yell if anything crazy happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla looks like it's trying to bounce, but it's still, to me, it's got relative weakness compared to SPY, the overall market. Amazon's got relative strength, so I think that was a great pivot. Yeah, Amazon's slowly pushing towards green. Couple dollars. Yeah, so small cap land, nothing I was interested in. I'm glad I avoided. REB, big trap. ICCT, too strong. CXAI, not enough range. USAR, don't really like it, too strong. IBO, BDRX, rebounds. So I feel like not trading was a huge win. And just avoiding ICCT was a win. You guys trade anything today? What's your charts? What'd you guys trade? I checked main chat. I didn't see any trades happening. Looks like it's pretty dead in small cap land. SPY. Yes, so far.
And I'm back.
Yo. Yeah, I hope you nailed CXAI Angel. That one just didn't have enough range for me.
So we need to see the market start to create a little bit of a higher low here.
Yeah, we just need for the market to agree, and Amazon will take off. It's trying. It wants to. It just needs the market to agree. Nice trade, Angel.
So market acting heavy again, but still giving it a chance to see how it trades out.
Yeah, let's see if SPY can rebound here off these lows.
Clear, very clearly 519 and 522.
Great job, Shui. Nice trading.
So just patiently waiting to see market try to rebound or not. AREB, crazy moves.
Yeah, still squeezing. I'm really glad I just sat out today instead of trading small caps. Nothing set up the way I wanted, and yeah, it's like a lot of headaches.
It's a really good move to pivot away from Tesla because it's still acting very weak. Market is still pretty heavy. I think the pre-market low of the days were at 516 pretty much. So probably gonna test that. No, I don't plan on adding more Amazon until I see the market agreeing. So I'm just babysitting the Amazon that I have for now. It's pretty much break even. Honestly, really sick move down on the market. That's crazy. VIX topping out a little bit. I think we need above 519 for any type of rebound, guys. So be careful just randomly adding until we see over 519. So 519 and 522 on SPY. VIX just lost $1.50 there. So that bounce failed on S&P. That's not good. Crazy, crazy weakness, man. Crazy freaking weakness. So I do not plan on adding any more Amazon or any more anything until 519 and 522 on S&P. Those are the higher low areas that I need to see. So I would need to see 519 and 522 on S&P. I'm just going to write it down in case anyone misses it. Does look like we're going to retest the pre-market lows on the indexes. So market's back to lows. Pretty crazy, crazy.
I'll be curious
moves.
if we get a bounce here or not.
Which one, Steve?
So I'll be curious if we get a bounce here or not. Rose.
I mean, we're gonna bounce. It's gonna be here at the low day. Okay, nice. Bought some more Amazon here. 173.77. So a big power candle there on the market. That's what I'm looking for. Now we just need to see if that power candle actually holds. And it's not looking like it's holding for now. So far that bounce failed. So we reclaimed and then failed again. So I have to be really careful here. These market fails the last couple of days have been really, really intense. That's crazy.
Yeah, insane.
So we're still acting weak overall on the markets. Even VIX reclaimed, so I have to be very careful.
probably lower.
Tesla's about $1 away from SSR. So same thing, guys. Just looking for a reclaim or power candle to add more to this Amazon. I am in about 30% right now, and I want to get in obviously bigger, but I need to see some sort of verification of my thesis. I do still believe that Amazon is the strongest of the bunch, so if you do end up rebounding, this Amazon's probably going to rebound the most. So let's see, let's keep an eye out here. 516 reclaim will be kind of that first. 516, 519, 522. So 516 on the market, but don't want to just trade it to trade it. Let's get an actual hold of it. Let's get an actual hold. Timing is very important here. So I'll scale in a little bit more Amazon here. Ideally, we want to see 519, 522. 516 as well as the previous day's pre-market lows. So pre-market lows has to hold as well. So being very careful here. So still no hold of pre-market lows yet. A pretty sick move all around. So let's see if we get a signal here. Higher lows on the market. Do another ad there on Amazon. But still would need a break over 516 to confirm. CoreWeave CRWV getting smoked. Still acting heavy though, man. Market's still weak, man.
Yeah, spot is lower.
Looks like Tesla just hit SSR. Hey, everything is still freaking weak, man. Market's still going lower, so I don't want to add. I don't want to get aggressive. I want to wait and see if there's going to be a rebound, and then I can get more aggressive. Market is speeding up to the downside though for now. Watching VIX as well. Market's definitely speeding up to the downside. This is good. Market is definitely speeding down to the downside. I like this. So getting prepared for those ads on Amazon, if we start to see some reclaims, this is kind of, I don't want to use the word parabolic, but it's kind of parabolic to the downside, which is great. This is what we want to see. Let's see, watching the overall markets. Market's definitely speeding up to the downside. Should be forming a bottom soon. Still weak. No ad, no ad, no ad. This is acceleration to the downside. Yeah, Amazon has the most relative strength out of anything. So if we do get a rebound, this is the one that's going to rebound. This is good. Just waiting. This is the market speeding up to the downside. It's the reverse of a parabolic move to the upside. So just looking to time it properly. Looking to time it properly. A little bit of a rebound there, so it took some Amazon there, 171s. Let's see if this is it. Let's see if this is it. $2 rebound on SPY is maybe it. Is maybe it.
Yeah, we pretty much tested that support from August 2024.
Remember, for this truly to bottom out, it has to dip down and retest. It has to dip down and retest. So let's see. So $4 rebound on SPY there. Good buy at 171 so far. Good buy there. Thinking that might be it. Thinking that might be it.
Yeah, nice bounce so far.
So far, so good.
Mix. A lot of weakness.
So far, so good. So this is going to be the first dip that we see in the markets. So we can't be afraid. This has to dip and retest. So it has to dip and retest. Good reclaim on the markets. Good reclaim on the markets. I pretty much bottom ticked that. Pretty close to bottom ticking that on S&P.
Yeah, nice volume spike also. Good spot.
Amazing, amazing bottom call there, guys. Amazing bottom call. We pretty much called the bottom there on the market. Pretty much called the bottom there on the market. So far, so good. That 171 buy was pretty perfect.
Neutral.
Same thing as before, guys. 519 and 522. But we rebounded $6 a share off the low on the S&P. So that is obviously the temporary bottom. Big rebound again on the market. Must be, is there a headline? Someone check if there's a headline. Someone check if there's a headline. Wall Street source that Trump, blah, 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 moderate, I'll be quiet, ramps up, he would. Okay. Big move on SPY.
Yeah.
Big move. What a fucking call, dude.
Big spike.
What a fucking call. That's a big move, guys. That's a big move. I don't know what the hell that headline means in us, but it's fucking good. Seems like it's good. Market likes it. Very good bottom call, bro. Very good bottom call. Wow. Fucking crushed that. Good, good, good. VIX starting to get smoked a little bit. Overall market, good rebound. That is some amazing timing with the market headline. Amazing timing with that market headline, dude. Right into the key support a fucking headline came out. That's as perfect as it could fucking get, dude. That's as fucking perfect as it can get. Look at that bounce at 171, bro. Look at that fucking bounce.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Look at that fucking bounce, bro.
That's pretty insane.
That is 519 reclaimed. 519 reclaimed. 522 next. What a fucking move, guys. What a fucking move. Gonna sell a little bit of Amazon here on this pop just in case. Sold some. 175 on Amazon. Still looking for that red to green. Big fucking move, baby. Big fucking move. Big fucking move, 520.
Amazon pushing back towards highs.
Very, very nice, guys. Very fucking nice. Nike, massive move, Nike. NKE. Holy shit. Here we go, guys. Here we fucking go.
Because, yeah.
Selling some more Amazon into the pop here just in case. I think there's a headline out there that Vietnam wants to cut the tariffs too. Someone check that, please.
Yes, somebody mentioned zero. So Nike, probably a lot of clothing manufacturers jumped. Yes.
So good sells so far, good sells. I still got plenty left. Good fucking sells. Talk about amazing timing with that market, dude. It reclaimed the low of the days and a fucking headline came out. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Better to be lucky than smart, guys. Better to be lucky than smart. Amazing, amazing action so far. Amazing action. That Vietnam news is huge for Nike. I still think Amazon's gonna get to that highs, guys. Let's fucking get it. Let's fucking get it.
Nice trading, champion. Good job.
So,
And I think Powell's about to come on as well.
so good sells into Amazon into strength, not getting stubborn. This allows me to be more patient on the next rebound. The market still failed 522, guys. The market still failed 522, so 522 is very, very important. But so far, so good. So far, so good. This is good. This is good. This is good. So I do believe we're going to get more and more tariff headlines as the days pass.
Nice, Edward.
Very good action, guys. Very good action. Very fucking good action. Very good action. The market is still freaking strong. Amazon is the strongest, man. I think the best trade of the day, man, I think the best trade of the day was pivoting to Amazon. Pivoting to Amazon, I think, was the best possible trade of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this shit's going to go to 178. I think it's going to go to 178, man. We're positioned accordingly. We're sized in accordingly. We took some profits off the table. Now we got to be patient. Bring me 178, bitch. RH going up to, market going up, everything going up. Up, up, up. Great action so far on the market. Great fucking action so far. I'm loving the action. I'm loving this action. Keep it coming, baby. Keep it fucking coming.
Yeah, Amazon back towards highs.
Amazon, come on, baby. You know what to do. You know what to do, baby. Come on, give me that 178. Come on, baby. SPY 522 is the key. Let's get that 522 reclaim on the SPY. Amazon, baby, selling more into the high of the day here, 176.90. I think actually, guys, we might see 180, dude. We might see 180. We might see fucking 180.
Yeah, this thing might go green, man. I mean,
if we could get 522 on SPY, dude, I think this is going to 180. If. Come on, baby. You know what you want to do. You see this SN, Shark Ninja? Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck, Shark Ninja. This is sick, dude. Sick fucking action, dude. Sick action. This is the rebound of the fucking storybooks, dude. Let's fucking get it. Let's fucking
pretty
get
sick
it.
that it's happening on the live trades too, man. I mean, you bottom tick that thing. That's pretty insane.
510 bottom tick, bro, on that Amazon. 6 points higher. Just fucking nasty, bro. Nasty. $522 is everything, guys, on SPY. 522 is fucking everything. So like I said, guys, I sold Amazon a little bit into the bounces just in case, right? Just in case the rebound freaking fails, but I don't think so. This rebound does not look like it's failing, man. This rebound does not look like it's fucking failing.
It's pushing. It wants to go green.
What a fucking trade on Amazon, dude. What a trade on Amazon. 522 on SPY, guys. Remember how important 522 is. 522 is fucking everything. It's everything. So let's get there. We are 10 points off the lows. This confirms that this is the short-term bottom. $522. Where did it top out, guys? Where did S&P top out? $522. We've been saying this all freaking morning, man. $522. Is this making sense, man? Someone tell me, or at least fucking lie to me. At least lie to me. I don't care. Just tell me something, bro. Tell me something, because this is fucking weak. Alright, this is fucking strong, the market. 522. Market is fucking strong, man. Market is fucking strong.
Yeah, Amazon's gonna go green, man.
Come on, well, we called fucking Amazon, baby. We called it. Let's just get a little bit higher. Just a little bit fucking higher. Nike just straight up. $522 rejection again, guys. Be very, very mindful of 522. It is very clearly, obviously, the key level. Very clearly. Be very fucking mindful of that level. Apologize for all the swearing as well.
We're gonna edit it out later.
Let's get 180 on Amazon. Think we could get it. Think we could get it. What time was Powell? 11:20 or 11:30? 25? So by taking some profits off the table, guys, it allows me to be patient for that next move. So even if it dips down, I don't really care because I locked in some profits, and being able to lock in profits will allow me to be patient on the move. Still fucking going higher, man. Still going higher. What a great call on the relative strength. What a fucking great call. The call of the day, the relative strength. 522, guys, is what we need to see on S&P. 522. We've been saying it all goddamn day. 522. Let's get it. All day long, 522, man, all day long. 522 is still the key, man. We will not see any significant rebound until 522 breaks, okay? So until 522 breaks, we will not see any significant rebound. So keep that in mind. So if you have not taken at least a little bit of profits off the table here after the trade that we had, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. I do believe that we're going to go green. I do believe that we're going to reclaim.
Man, Amazon's still pushing.
I'm telling you guys, let's fucking go.
Even without SPY bouncing.
So for anyone that's on the free live trading, I mean, like, I think this is pretty damn valuable if it's every day. But that's just me, I'm biased. All right, Powell is speaking right now, so I'm gonna open up Powell's speech. So I'm gonna have Powell's speech in the background, just listening. Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep fucking going. So once again, guys, it is very fucking clear 522 is acting as the wall. 522 is very clearly the wall on the indexes. So once again, guys, this is another reminder. If you have not taken some profits off to cushion for a bigger move, you're doing something wrong. You have to take some profits off here because we keep breaking 522, man. So adjust your trades accordingly. So 522 very clearly rejected on the markets, guys. 522 very clearly rejected. So the reason why I'm able to stay patient is because I've already locked in a ton of freaking profits, man. So 522 still rejecting. So until the market holds 522, we're not going to get that big rebound, guys. So I locked in profits earlier to be able to be patient for that rebound. $522 is everything, guys. 522 is everything.
Looks like Powell is on speaking now.
So once again, guys, we have broken under 522, so we will not see a sustained bounce yet. So we will not see a sustained bounce until 522. So good job taking some profits off the table. See what he's saying.
Remain well anchored and consistent with our 2%.
So once again, guys, for any type of sustained bounce, we are going to need 522. So once again, guys, we've rejected 522. We rejected 522. That's why I sold some Amazon into the bounces. So I'm now cushioned enough on Amazon that I can be patient for a bigger move. AREB continues higher. Nike still pretty strong. Still pretty strong in that Nike. So very good trading today, man. Very good trading today. So Amazon, like I said, I sold some off. Now I'm cushioned. Now I have a padding. Now I'm not worried. I can be patient. Like I said, at least 10 times near 178 to at least reduce some. So if you don't listen there, I don't know how I can help you. Overall, markets are weak. Ever since Powell started talking, markets have sold off. 272, still very key. And 522 still key. Just babysitting here. Just babysitting here. So like I mentioned, good call to reduce some profits into that bounce. So let's see if we continue to bounce. AREB still going higher.
Yeah, open higher.
Very good sells into that bounce on Amazon. Very, very good sells.
Okay, starting to get a bounce here in the market in Amazon. Let's see.
So the market did a really good job rebounding, but now it needs to kind of continue that rebound. $522 is that key area, obviously, and it rejected off that key area. So until this S&P, guys, reclaims 522, which we said a bazillion times, we will not see any significant rebound. It is very clear where the resistance is. It's 522.
I mean, pretty great relative strength still from Amazon. Buy's looking pretty weak, but Amazon's still up there.
Right.
Nice job, Tubes.
Nice rebound, man. Nice rebound. I don't know. I think today, guys, no matter what P&L happens or no matter what happens, I think the biggest lesson for today is pivoting to the stock with relative strength. noticing that Tesla was acting weaker than the others, noticing that Amazon was acting stronger than the others, and pivoting to adjust for that. I mean, to me, guys, that's what kind of considers you an expert level trader, is being able to not only recognize that, but pivot from it. It's like my mistake yesterday. My mistake yesterday is I recognized that there was manipulation. I didn't pivot. Today, I recognized there was relative strength. I pivoted. So I learned my lesson. Powell's still talking, man.
It looks like it. They're doing a Q&A, so I muted it. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I closed down. You guys want to resend me the link for the stream? I closed it down, but I'll reopen it.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything key in his overall speech, really.
Somewhat related.
You know, I think each situation is different. You know, there was COVID. There was also then, in the response to COVID, then there was high inflation, and then there was soft landing, and then there was, and now we have new administration and changes in policies. And every situation, you know, it kind of rhymes, but it's not exactly the same thing. And so in this situation, what we face is what I mentioned in my remarks, is you actually have risks for higher unemployment and higher inflation, and that's difficult for a central bank because our tools, which consist of interest rates, you know, either slow down or speed up the economy over time. And you know, higher unemployment would call for speeding up the economy, and higher inflation would call for slowing it down. So you could be in a situation, if we find ourselves in that situation, we look at how far each of the two variables is from its goal, and we ask ourselves, how long would it take to get back? And we weigh those things and make a decision about what to do. But there's no question that's a different situation, very difficult situation. When we faced high inflation, it was painful for the country, painful for the people that we serve, but we knew what policy needed to be. We knew we needed to raise rates quite a bit. During the pandemic, we knew what we needed to do. It was very clear the direction that we needed to take with force, and we did.
It's almost a situation potentially where the dual mandate is at odds with itself.
The two goals are, as we say, in tension, or they may be. I'd say that's not what we're seeing right now, but it's the effects at the margin right now would be for higher inflation and perhaps higher unemployment, but that's a marginal effect. I would say you're not in a situation like we were in the 1970s where the two goals were really both pulling in opposite directions and required. It's just very hard for a central bank to be the answer to a situation like that. That's not the situation we're really in today.
One of the questions from the audience that we had is, if unemployment takes off and inflation takes off, which lever do you go for? Which lever do you, what do you do?
So we actually have we have a document called our consensus statement, or the longer version is Statement on Longer Run Goals and Monetary Policy Strategy. And the sixth paragraph of that actually contemplates when the two goals are in tension. And what it says is, think about how far each variable is from its goal, and think about how long it would take for each to get back. So in a way, it's an equation. You're comparing two quantities which each have two variables. And then you say, you look at that and you think, what do we need to do? And typically this doesn't happen very often, but if one of them is further away, then you would focus on that one. In the case of high inflation, you actually both pointed in the same direction. The labor market was overheated and inflation was very high. So both of those called for tight monetary policy. This could be different, but again, we're not actually facing that today.
I feel like there's another tension inherent in your job, which is that you're looking at the macro economy, at the global economy really, and the US places in it, but also the data you're looking at is very profoundly human, as Jim has been pointing out. Jobs, I think, and prices are probably the two most human pieces of data, and certainly in our day-to-day experience, probably the things that loom the largest. How do you reconcile those two things when you're looking at the data like both the global markets and knowing that the data represents a lot of lives and jobs and egg prices and things like that?
So I think at the Fed, we always keep a focus on the people that we serve, and we know and are very conscious daily that the things that we do have a real effect on people's lives. We know that, and it really does focus the mind. And I think if you talk to people at the Fed, there's a very strong commitment to serving the public as well as we possibly can. Economic events are just very, very unpredictable at times, and there are shocks that you can't see coming. But nonetheless, our job is to, whatever happens, use our tools to bring the economy back to stability, back to price stability, back to maximum employment. And that's what we do. But you're right, we try to keep everybody in the room with us when we're thinking about what to do.
So in response to the last round of tariffs, Harley-Davidson, which is based in Milwaukee, moved some production to Thailand. Now the company might be whipsawed again by the new tariffs. It could be really devastating for sales, for employment, for the future of that company. But a lot of companies are in that same position. And what do you say to companies like Harley-Davidson and their workers?
So it just isn't, I really want to stick to our knitting. I mean, we have this great thing called our independence of monetary policy, and that's critical for us to be able to do our job. But for us to keep that independence, we need to not succumb to the temptation to want to be a player on issues that are not assigned to us. And trade policy is one of those. There are many, many issues that people love to try to pull us in on, or almost every issue really. And we just need to stick to our knitting, not get pulled into those things. And so trade policy is a classic one. Energy policy is another. Climate change, many immigration is not really, although all of those things have economic implications, and it gets argued that way. But if we treated those as our job, the case for our independence would disappear. So I really can't comment on. I mean, we hear the same stories like that, but honestly, the policymakers who are charged with that, they're probably hearing the same stories too, and they're reaching a judgment about what's in the best interest of the country in the long run. That's what they are doing, I guess, and that's, so it's not for us to comment on that.
What happens inside the Fed at a moment like right now, when there's so much change and quite a bit of uncertainty, when you're watching things unfold, what does that look like, practically speaking? What are people doing inside the building?
So I'm very proud to work with the people I work with. I can tell you that in times like this, or times like the pandemic, where the global financial markets were shutting down, the global economy was shutting down, people step forward and they say, "We've got this." These are career people who were here for the global financial crisis. They've got 25 years, 35 years of experience with crises, and they step forward and it's just incredible what they can do and how good they are. It's a great honor to work with them. So right now isn't that situation. We have the situation we have. So our trade people and our inflation people and our macroeconomists are all working hard to kind of digest the news of this week and try to filter that into the forecast that they'll make. And policymakers are doing very much the same thing, and we're reading everything we can about what's happening and lots of outside analysis too. We don't have an FOMC meeting until May 6 and 7. So that's really a process that lasts several weeks, but and we're not quite at that stage yet. But we're kind of thinking ahead to that and working through all of that. I will say though, it feels like we don't need to be in a hurry. It feels like we have time
Really?
to, yes, it feels like we don't. No, I mean, it's, like I said, you have inflation's going to be moving up and growth is going to be slowing, but it isn't really, to me, it's not clear at this time what the appropriate path for monetary policy will be. And we're going to need to wait and see how this plays out before we can start to make those adjustments.
Question from the audience. One of our SABU members is, are you in contact with other central bankers in other countries at a time like this?
Yes, pretty frequently. Absolutely, I am. And the same was true during the other crises I've been through. Not only that, though, we do meet very regularly. The IMF World Bank meetings here in Washington twice a year. We go to Basel multiple times a year to meet. That's all central bankers. And there are also G20 meetings, G7 meetings where the central bankers are there. So we're kind of regularly meeting and talking. And when we're not doing that, we're also texting each other
Is there a group chat?
I'm not at liberty to say. No, there's not.
Have you talked to those central bankers this week?
Recently, yeah, I didn't want to get too specific about this, but yes, I have.
What's their sentiment? Can you characterize that?
I'd rather, again, I don't comment on what my international colleagues say, or it's not appropriate. But we're talking about events, we're talking about the implications for the economy. We're discussing what we're hearing from markets.
This guy's saying a whole lot of
business
nothing.
people, and for from the elected governments too. It's all the things you would expect us to be talking about on a regular basis. It's one of the best things about this role is that the central banks have a lot. We're all non-political, so we think about things in quite similar ways, and they're real bonds. We're not lobbying each other ever on policies. That's just not a thing, because we do our policy here, they do their policy there. But we develop really, really good relationships and bonds with them, and it's one of the real pleasures and benefits being able to talk about this, just not only with the great people at the Fed, but also with the leaders around the world.
I mean, it's interesting because it is a job of enormous responsibility and power, but it's also a job. How would you characterize the job of Fed chair? Like, how is it as a job?
Honestly, that's what it is. I really feel just like another person doing that job.
Really?
Yeah.
You just like,
That's how it is. I'm doing a job. I have a job to do. I actually really like the job. I like it a lot. I enjoy it. It can be stressful at times. Nonetheless, incredibly interesting. Great people to work with. Really important. What more could you want? But that's what it is. And I'm blessed by working with great colleagues who are really committed to getting it right. I mean, fully appreciate how important it is that we get it right, and do everything we possibly can to bring the best thinking, the best analysis, and debate things, over and over until we feel like we're in the right place. At the same time, there is no certainty in this. You can be wrong because the economy can zig when you thought it was going to zag.
So your term as Fed chair ends about a year from now. What do you think about your job security?
I fully intend to serve all of my term.
excellent. I mean, as we're getting close to wrapping up, I did want to ask something a little bit out of the box. I think because you do have a position of such great responsibility, people are very curious about you, and I think people tend to read into everything a Fed chair does, small gestures, word choice. I know it's part of our jobs in this room to pore over every word you choose. I did want to ask about one thing that I've wondered about for years, which is your tie. You always seem to wear a purple tie, and every time I think I've seen you, you've worn a purple tie, and I'm wondering if there's significance to that?
Well, at the beginning, the only significance was that I like purple ties.
Okay.
But I will say, so then the next press conference, I reach for a blue tie or a red tie, and I go, maybe not, And so I wind up wearing purple ties. And then it becomes a thing, and now I definitely wear purple ties all the time.
Okay.
But I felt like it just felt a little awkward to be wearing one that was identified. We are strictly non-political. I can't stress that enough. We are not, it's not that we're bipartisan, we are non-political. We don't do that. And so purple was a good color for that. That's all. Plus I like purple ties.
Sorry,
Tie.
purple guitar pick. I have one other Milwaukee question that I overlooked here, but in Milwaukee and other parts of the country, the housing market is out of whack. In our market alone in southeastern Wisconsin, there's 5,000, the market's out of whack by 5,000 houses that need to be on the market for it to have equilibrium. And a report this week said tariffs could tack on some $6,000 to the cost of building a new home. How long are people going to sit on their cheap mortgages from COVID? Thank you very much. And before they move on, before the market frees up.
So you have several things there. The first is we just haven't built enough housing and we haven't kept up with the demand for housing. So there's an underlying shortage. Before the pandemic, there was a real housing shortage. And by the way, that's happening in many comparable democracies around the world. The second thing is, lock-in, as you say. There were very, very low mortgage rates during COVID, and people are kind of locked in, and it would be very expensive to move, and that'll of course wear off over time. You also mentioned, the costs of materials that might be imported, lumber and nails and things like that, and yeah, that and also labor, a lot of labor from in the home building business has been traditionally immigrant labor. So yeah, the housing, the sort of new build market, it may face some cost pressures as well. That may very well be the case. That's what we're hearing from home builders, for example, both on the labor side and on the materials side. But even once these short-term things happen, we're still going to have not enough houses, and so it's all. I think for a long time we're still going to see upward pressure on housing prices. Maybe until population growth slows or until we catch up.
You mentioned that we're kind of in a period of waiting right now to see how policy ripples out through the economy. How long do you expect that to take? How long do you expect these big policy changes to show up in our day-to-day lives, in prices and supplies and things like that?
For a while, we didn't know what was coming on April 2. Now we know what came on April 2. We don't know. There's a lot more to be said about how all that shakes out. But we've come through that, and I think you now know that the tariffs are larger than people were generally expecting. That much you know now at this point. And you'll know more as you start to see the effects on the economy. So as the months go by, it's hard to say exactly when you'll know. But clearly that learning process is ongoing. We're just seeing that these are new policies, not just the tariff policies, but the other ones as well. There'll be important fiscal legislation coming up fairly soon, and there'll be regulatory changes, significant regulatory changes. You have to really look at all of that to see what the overall effect will be. So I can't give you a date, but all of that is now kind of coming into place at sort of the speed you would expect policy changes to be, and then we'll begin to see the real economic effects as the year goes on. But again, I can't give you a really specific date.
Is the fiscal legislation the tax cuts?
Well, yes. I mean, I know they're contemplating, and we don't comment on fiscal policy, but what I read is that they're contemplating, making the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act cuts permanent, and also perhaps some other things as well. We wouldn't be. We have sort of a placeholder for that too, but that's really not ours to comment on. But that's what I was talking about. Yes.
So I have a question from a friend in Milwaukee who said she has clients that have deals ready to go, businesses that are ready to launch from their garage to a private equity deal, and they're just stuck in their garage right now. How long do you think, what do you think the impact of the uncertainty these days will have on the private equity deals?
So again, we're hearing a lot of that. People are just kind of waiting for clarity. So, and I can't tell you when that will pass, but ultimately it will pass. We know that at a certain point we'll know enough to know what the uncertainty will decline, and we'll be able to see with real clarity what the policies are and what their effects are. So, you're right. We hear the same thing from businesses and from people that they're kind of waiting and seeing. There's a lot of waiting and seeing going on, including by us, and that just seems like the right thing to do at a time of elevated uncertainty.
What economic indicators are you watching right now? I mean, very famously, you look at the CPE and obviously the CPI and things like that, but are there any economic indicators in this moment, in these circumstances, that you are watching, focused on,
Sure.
interested in?
So the basic two big data pools are the data around prices and around employment. And we get, in the employment area, we get just really, that's an area where we actually get pretty good data. Although the survey response rates have been lower, nonetheless, we get a lot of different data. It's not just unemployment, it's participation, it's by age group and things like that. It's wages, it's many, many different things. It's jobs, it's quits, all the job creation, quits, openings, all those things. So that's one thing. On inflation, we target PCE, personal consumption expenditure inflation, not CPI, and the two are broadly, they move they move together, but 25 years ago, the Fed switched to PCE. The public looks at CPI. It's kind of a little bit of a thing, but because we think, it's really just a better way to capture the inflation, the cost pressures that households and businesses feel. We think it's a better measure, and that's what we look at. But they're not that different. I mean, they look at different measures. Ultimately, they're pretty close together. Those things. On growth, you look at what's happening with consumer spending. The economy is overwhelmingly driven by consumer spending. So you look at how are consumer surveys, how are they feeling, how are they spending. Sometimes the surveys are very negative, but they keep spending. That's been happening really for a while. People spent right through the pandemic, and they spent right through this time of higher inflation. They kept spending, and forecasters kept thinking, like us, kept thinking that consumption would slow down. That's a really critical thing. After that, business investment is a big chunk, and you look at that, and that is also susceptible to sentiment. Businesses, if they don't know what to do, they're not going to do an acquisition, or they're going to hold off on building a factory or a plant or hiring people, things like that. So we look at, I could go on for a long time. We look at a lot of data, and we try to make sense. We also talk to people who are in the real economy. I grew, my career was mostly in the private sector, talking to people who ran businesses. And for me, the story doesn't come together until I actually hear from people who are in the economy doing things and what they're feeling and seeing, and then it sort of fits together better.
Is this like via the beige book, or
The
just?
beige book, thank you for mentioning the beige book, and I hope you read it.
I love the beige book.
See, that's great. Everyone should read the beige book. The beige book comes out sort of mid-FOMC cycle, and it's all the 12 reserve banks and all of their incredible context, what they're saying about what's going on in the economy. So if you want to know, you can look at the national data, but if you want to know what's going on in regions and at different industries, you look at the beige book. So it's really a critical thing. And actually, the reserve bank system that we have is an enormous strength of the Federal Reserve System. We have these 12 reserve banks with their own, economics departments and own participants on the FOMC. So that's a great thing to look at.
I'd like to ask you about another body of work that many of us know that you're familiar with, and that's the Grateful Dead. So, question for you, sir. American Beauty or Terrapin Station?
American Beauty.
Well, it's not even a
Not even
pause.
close.
That was
Ask me a
so
hard one.
fast.
Working
That's
Man's,
my era.
Working Man's Dead?
Yes.
Or Europe 72?
Oh, both. Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
we're in the same era here. So that's, for me, it's late 60s to mid 70s. So
Touch of Grey, what do you think?
it was their only hit, but it's a good song. Okay. Yeah.
Finally,
Are we going to do this?
I feel like you're speaking another language.
there's a well-known Grateful Dead bootlegger who, with I believe the permission of the band, Dick's Picks, who's put
Yeah.
out. So what's your recommendation of those hundreds of?
I don't have any Dick's picks. Like I said, my
What do you say? I don't have
real
any dick
interest
pics?
was late 60s to mid 70s.
Yeah.
And I saw them a bunch of times, and I know every note on every song from that era, but since then I've been busy, actually.
The fuck are we watching? dude?
Thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here, and we appreciate your work.
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Great to
everybody.
see you.
Thanks, Jim.
That was crazy.
That was horrendous, dude.
I'm not sure if they said what I thought they said,
I
but
don't know what the hell they said, dude. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if I'm just delusional or what. What the fuck is that?
man, that sure woke me up quick. I was like, what did I just hear?
Well, I'm still here. Still holding his Amazon. Now that you shut the hell up, maybe we could get a nice rebound. Well, maybe another coffee soon because I'm starting to fall asleep after that thing. So let's see. AREB, good ignore. What the hell is ICCT doing? I took it off my screens. ICCT doing a whole lot of nothing too. So definitely good ignores there. I mean, by far the strongest stock in the entire market today is Amazon, by far. Be right back, guys. I'm gonna make that coffee.
I'm just taking this time to respond to a couple of DMs. Yeah, man. Look at this AREB. It was around $4 yesterday. Now it's $15.50. What a squeeze. What a trap at the open too. Hopefully you guys avoided or stayed safe. Or longed it. Let's see if Harry had that on his long watch list. Yeah, he did. Gonna leave it till zombie. Nice one, Harry. Definitely took that at zombie. Edge stock, so it is 1:09 a.m. I didn't trade, Eugene. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, like, I just didn't like anything in small caps, so I didn't want to trade large caps. I didn't like anything in small caps. I just sat out and watched the action. Yeah, Edge talk. We were gonna go to Mount Fuji tomorrow, early, so that would have meant I had to wrap up a little while ago. But the guy texted us that we had a tour planned, and he's like, "Oh, we need to go 2 hours earlier because traffic." So he wanted us to be there like 7 a.m. instead of 9, and we're like, "Oh man, it's not possible." So we just asked for a refund. We'll do it another day.
Just got back.
Yo,
So we're kind of in the middle of the range here, guys. It's kind of 50-50 at this point. I'm still sticking to it because there's no reason not to. It's quite literally the strongest stock of the market today. You know? I mean, the strongest compared to AREB. AREB is fucking wild. But that's not counted.
yeah, retarded. That's insane, man. And you can see if you look at AREB and ICCT that the money flow left at 10 a.m. from AREB. Sorry, from ICCT went right into AREB.
Right. So very, very happy with my trading today. Much better than yesterday. Good pivots on Amazon today to start trading that instead of the Tesla. And that's pretty much it. I still am waiting for a little bit higher, but I don't know how patient I could be. We've already been doing this for what? 3-4 hours? What's your stop going to be on Amazon when you took that last round at 171? I would have probably stopped out under that low of the candle, so 170. Later, Larry. Thanks, Zach. So solid Friday so far.
Man, I feel like Amazon just wants to do it. It just needs a little sign from SPY. If SPY just tests view app, I think Amazon will go.
100%, Steve. 100%. This is a great lesson on relative strength versus relative weakness. Amazon is by far the strongest stock in the market, and every time the market dips, Amazon just dips a little bit, and every time it rebounds a lot. That is relative strength. That's what we call relative strength. So whenever you're longing, you want to buy the stocks that have relative strength. Whenever you're shorting, you want to short the stocks that have relative weakness. AREB just blowing up shorts. So very clearly not a small cap day today, and we recognize that as well.
Yep.
So far so good, man. So far so good.
Yeah, I mean, I sat on the sidelines, but I'm feeling pretty good, man. I mean, I didn't touch any small caps. There's a lot of traps out there, and you know.
Yeah, and the key
Once
is you're
you
recognizing
think and learn a lot.
these other large cap trends as well.
Yeah. So yeah, no trade days can be pretty solid. Great learning experience and avoided the trouble.
Steven, how can people contact you if they want to get access to this every day? We've been streaming for 3 hours, and I don't think we ever even mentioned it once.
Sure. So I'll post it for you guys. But if you guys email me, I'll be happy to give you our current rates and help you guys get a deal to get in. So my email is StevenRH1 at myinvestingclub.com. And here it is. So yeah, just feel free to reach out. And yeah, we do this every single day. I mean, not usually this long, right? But today is a special day.
No, for
It's a
sure.
good way to end the week. Yeah.
Like, look at S&P. S&P's kind of at the bottom of the range of 515. It's at the bottom of the range of 515, and Amazon's only pulling back a little bit. So I tend to agree, Steven, that if we do get any type of bounce on the market, they should freaking explode higher, but that's if.
Right. Yeah, if it can even just test you at this point, I mean, there's some on top, I feel like Amazon's just waiting to go.
But if the S&P breaks 512, 513, that's kind of going to be my stop area on all this stuff.
Yeah, and from the looks of things, it'll still be well above your average. So
Right.
yeah. And I still love that bottom tick, bro. That was pretty nuts.
It's good timing. Good timing.
Yep.
Very good timing. So markets are overall heavier. So I might just move on from this Amazon pretty soon if we don't see any type of rebound, because the market's definitely acting weak right now. Later, guys. Yes, Lizzie, that's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. AREB should be opening up soon. Not that I have any interest in trading it.
You didn't say an AREB was like $1.50 a couple of days ago.
It's the same BS as that ICCT rebound, dude.
Dude, that's crazy, yeah. I mean, ICCT was like 35 cents if this is right. Yeah, I mean, same thing. It was pretty dead, and then it just like ripped higher. Pretty broken. Just like ICCT.
We're probably just gonna move on from this Amazon here instead of just babysitting it nonstop. So I sold a little bit more Amazon here. Just have a tiny bit left. As the market is just acting weak.
Wondering if the Alex indicator will work for large caps as well.
Probably.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, guys, so if you want more info on live trading, just send Steven a email and he'll hook you up. I got tiny left on this Amazon. Seeing if the market rebounds here or not. You could very clearly tell that 522 was the key area on the S&P. 522. The moment it rejected that, it was pretty much toast. Nike still has relative strength. So Nike's still pretty strong. ICCT some fails, but don't trust it. Alright. I'm all out of Amazon here, guys. Calling it a day here, about a $9,000 day. So almost made back yesterday's losses, which is fine. So this brings me to 946331. Green on the month. You know, I was definitely up a lot more towards the highs and looking for a bigger picture trade, but I didn't get it, and that's fine. So walking away, $9,000 day, nearly made back all of the losses from yesterday, and wrapping up this nearly 4-hour long live stream. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to email us. I'm gonna call it a day here. Gonna get a little bit of a small break here, and we'll be back at it again first thing Monday morning. Thanks everyone. Hope you had a great day today.
Sounds good. See you guys.